from the Egyptians who want to know more about our military history. And to shed more light on this temporary exhibition, we are very much delighted to have with us Yehia Abdul, a former Egypt tourist consultant in the USA, and of course he's an expert when it comes to museums and tourism. Mr. Abdul, a very good afternoon to you, sir. I'd like to have your vision regarding having this temporary exhibition to illustrate or to elaborate more on our military history.
Well, really, this is a great display, like of Egyptian artifacts that extend all the way from prehistoric era of Egypt, going through Quranic, Greco-Roman, and Islamic. And there is 50 selected pieces that shows, like the warfare, the machinery, the artillery, everything that is using, during the war over 2,000 years. And it is displayed at the Luxor Museum in only 1 month. My only observation is that I like it to be extended, till December or January, because summer season in Luxor is a little bit slow for the turbulence.
Yeah.
But this is a great exhibit, and we are proud of it.
And one of, I think it became one of the attractions. It's going to last for a month, so it's going to be put on the programs of our tourists. Sir, I'd like you to elaborate also more on the steps which were taken by Egypt to maintain or at least to preserve our tourism sector during COVID-19. We all know that the whole world was suffering from the negative repercussions of coronavirus, but I think Egypt is one of the few countries which really did its best to preserve or to maintain the stability of our tourism sector. If you want to elaborate on this.
Well, definitely yes, because, like last Thursday, President Putin, he lifted the embargo on Egyptian flights to Red Sea resorts of Qader and Sharm el-Sheikh. Why? Because, the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Health, Prime Minister, and the President of Qatar, they recommended that both destinations need to be, sanitized into the World Organization, regulations to make that the staff, hospitality, operators, diving activities, all of the activities to deal with chocolate and resorts, be immunized, and even the facility itself is being thoroughly inspected, and that's all the 4 last months. That's why we have visitors trafficking, Qader, Sharm el-Sheikh, and shortly, inshallah, we expect, Russian to be back, the gas commission.
Sir, also one of the good news we had that 74 nationalities can obtain their visa to Egypt online. How do you see this piece of news, sir?
Well, really, this is great relief. That, they come, get the visas, as long as they pay the fees and they meet the requirements. So this gives accessibility. And we remember, last week, Ms. Noura Ali, head of the Tourism Committee at the Egyptian Parliament, she met Dr. Madoui and she requested that European Union visitors who, carry the COVID pass, we go to Egypt without sitting. So this is going to give accessibility to visitors of Egypt through visa and through, arriving without going through the hassle of, health and medical regulations.
Yeah. Mr. Abdul, also it was announced recently that a number of countries are going to resume their tourist trips to Egypt. Last but not least, it's going to be Russia. The flights to the Egyptian Red Sea resorts particularly are going to resume by the middle of August. On the 15th of August, we are going, inshallah, to receive thousands of Russian tourists. How do you see these moves and its timing?
Well, really, this is great news because this has been long waited for. Expectations, because Russian tours were suspended since 2015. But President Putin last Thursday, he signed the directive that, like flights be back to Egypt after a long hold up, and there's going to be more growing traffic, and we call this pent-up demand because visitors, like they were inaccessible for over 60 years. But now they are going to, inshallah, rush back to the destination, and tour operators in both Qader and Sharm el-Sheikh are making preparations, getting ready, like for the facilities, the training, upgrades, and even Egypt Air, the Ministry of Aviation, are locating, like private terminals in Qader and Sharm el-Sheikh for directly to South.
Opening new markets is very important, and of course we do not need propaganda when it comes to the historical tourism, whether the cultural tourism, but still we do have to open new markets, new gates. Last but not least, it was the promotional campaign for Arab tourism. Now we are going to launch the second campaign, or it's already on the ground. How do you see this as part of this long list of steps which should be taken, or it's our homework to regain our tourism percentage or tourist percentage in the coming period after, inshallah, we are going to get rid completely of this COVID-19 issue?
Well, thank you for the observation. Like Mr. Ahmed Youssef, Chairman of the Egyptian Tourist Promotion Authority, he was yesterday in Alexandria meeting the governor, meeting Dr. Mustafa Al-Fay, head of the Alexandria Library, and prior to that he was in Aswan, attending the Aswan Festival, and prior to that he was in Sharm el-Sheikh and Hagada meeting the Ukrainian fan trip. Like 20 of them were represented the travel consumer media to Egypt. So we have a vigorous plan for Arab tourism in the GCC countries as well. And the Ministry of Tourism is allocating a handsome budget for that. And at least like 6 weeks ago, most hotels that I visited in the frequent in Cairo, further in the Nile, they nearly have like over 70% occupancy rate, and it's all GCC visitors from Emirates, from Bahrain, from Kuwait, from Saudi, from Sultanate Oman, from Yemen, from Iraq. So really, this is a very good season, and Arab travel accounts for 20 to 25% of total arrivals to Egypt. This is 2 million visitors a year. So thank God, this summer we have a good year.
Mr. Abdul Qader, one final question, because I'd like to speak about the gym whenever the tourism issue is raised in any occasion, on any occasion, I mean. The gym is going to be, in my humble opinion, a turning point in our tourism map. And inshallah, with its inauguration, it's going to be another era. How do you see the homework or the steps which should be taken to pave the way for the opening of gym as I said, a new chapter of our tourism in general?
I really, everything is true that you really said, Mr. Lee. That's really because this is going to be like the legend of the 21st century, as we all know, because of the quality and abundance of rare antiquities hall. But to open like any grandiose project like the Non-Egyptian Museum, the Ministry of Tourism, and other authorities, they have to plan for a calendar. And this calendar, for example, is like a countdown. So, for example, we're going to open like within 12 or 15, 16 months. So we have to start promoting each month by itself. And this is, as it is recognized worldwide for marketing and the promotion authorities and organizations. Mm-hmm. So they are keeping, everything nearly, at a low profile. And, I wish it could be the other way around. We have to put a calendar and to inform the internal audience, the regional, the international, what's going on to raise their expectations. So when it comes to the time of the opening and inauguration, it's going to be a sensational event. But, currently they're working on the interior, on the display, of the antiquities, of restoration, moving the some boats from Cheops to be internally, interned in the museum. This is perfect. But there's no media. There's no promotion. We have to do this So everybody would be lining up.
We do, sir, and we are going to keep on saying that the gem or the Grand Egyptian Museum is going to be the gift of Egypt to humanity in general.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Yehia Abdul Qader, our tourism expert, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good afternoon. Egypt is the land of civilization. All civilizations were melt here. We came up with our Egyptian identity, but we are introducing civilizations, we are introducing cultures as a gift to the whole world. If you want to know more about the origins of humanity in general and how human beings were able to introduce their civilizations and cultures to the whole world, come to Egypt. Right after this, I'm going to be back. Stay tuned.